So, I saw this on my recommended feed, and I know how many of you people watching are employed and have jobs. Oh, pains me to say that. The hell of retail or working retail, and I'll tell you this, it's not a fun time. This might give me nightmares again. Well, guess you better sit back and enjoy the show because we about to hear how hellish it is working at retail. And I might just give you a little Xevarith lore drop.
If you're watching this video right now, there's a good chance that you just got your first retail job and you're probably wondering what to expect. You're probably nervous. Your first day at work is pretty
I ain't working in retail, baby.
A whole new environment, make new friends, and have a great time is what I want to say. Why did you apply? Turn back while you still can. Turn back now. As somebody who's been working in retail for about 2 years now, I thought I would give my own personal experiences on the horrors of working in retail. Right off the bat, you're faced with a really big problem, getting hired in the first place. For some reason, trying to successfully land a retail job is one of the hardest things you could do in the whole world. Honestly.
Okay, Chad. So admittedly, I've been trying to apply some myself here. Why do I need a doctorate degree to work behind the counter for a retail store? Can anybody explain that to me? I certainly don't.
Might as well apply for the CIA. You have about the same chances of getting in. The only reason I was able to get my current job now is because I already knew someone that was working there, and he was able to put in a good word for me, so I didn't really have to do too much. But if I didn't have him, I would have been so cooked. I've heard of people waiting weeks or even months just for the response to be no, but then they'll complain about how they need people but won't hire anyone.
And
but after days of waiting, you
response.
finally get the call, and you have been drafted to Walmart. I know, what a beautiful moment. This is going to shape your life forever. What a beautiful moment this is. You haven't actually been hired yet. We're actually calling you for an interview. We saw your application. We thought you'd be a great fit. Oh yeah, you just submitted your application. We have to go through the interview process, which is way harder than it should be. You get to the store and you're already walking around lost because it's probably your first time there, if it isn't the only grocery store in your whole town. You find the place, walk in for your interview, and you're already going into this with the expectation that you're gonna have to BS your whole way through this. They're gonna ask you the most basic questions, and you're gonna have to find a basic response to
why
each
do you
question,
want to work
even if
with
the
us?
question is something stupid like, why do you want to work here? Well, I need money, duh. Well, actually, I think my future is very bright here. I can see myself going far into the company and even potentially setting up my future with this establishment, of course.
Interesting.
Even though you're about 90% sure that you know that the other person knows that you're lying, you still have to say what's best for the moment, because there's no way I bought khaki pants just to not get a job. Other questions they might ask you are you able to work fast and able to adapt fast? And even if you aren't, you better just say yes, because if you don't, they're about to give you the death stare of doom. They're gonna look you so deep in your eyes that you're gonna feel every ounce of hate that she has mustered up from working at this Walmart for 15 years. One way of knowing.
Bro, nothing like getting on your hands and knees during the interview process just for the slim chance of getting the job. Not me though, chat. I'm obviously a 10 out of 10, Sigma male. I just rizz up everyone that I encounter in the interview. That's why I'm unemployed.
If you got the job or not is by who's there at your interview. Like, for example, if you walk into your interview and sit down and see the store manager there, just know you got the job. There's a good chance that they're talking about you and that person came to see you in person. But if you walk into just you and the interviewer and then they hit you with the "we'll keep in touch" at the end of the interview, there's a good chance you get the job. And if that's you, those next couple of days of waiting and praying and hoping that you get the phone call back are going to be so stressful. You're going to be checking your phone every single second of the day, praying and hoping that you get the notification. And when you look at your phone, turns out it's just DoorDash. But after a couple of days of waiting, you finally get the call. You are now an official Walmart employee. And even better, you are no longer unemployed. Well, kind of. You're kind of not unemployed.
What do you mean?
Because even though they gave you the official Walmart certification and they gave you your vest and your hat, you still have no hours. I'm unsure who's in charge of making the schedule for new employees, but that person does not give a fuck about your life. Because how is it possible that I'm working 40 plus hours 1 week and then off for 2 months? How does that make any sense?
Wait, does that happen often? Chad, I'm being so dead ass here because I know a couple people that work. I know horrifying. But they work their asses off, and they tell me, yeah, I don't know why they stopped giving me hours. And, you know, admittedly, my first thought is, well, maybe you just suck at your job. But then I keep hearing it again and again and again from different people. And I'm like, maybe there actually is a problem. maybe they expected more from you. Nah, these people just fucking suck. What are we talking about? The employers? They want you to be lifeless. They want you to have no soul. I'm not finishing that sentence.
It's a whole lot worse when you randomly get shifts added to your schedule. You could have a whole week planned out, fun activities you and your friends are gonna do, and then you randomly look at your phone and see you have 5 shifts added to your schedule. Did you even think to ask me? Now my whole week is filled with doom and despair. And what's even worse, if they do somehow give you hours, all you get is those short 3-hour shifts. What am I gonna do with $50, bro? Like, you're really showing up to work just to say hi and bye and leave. But the worst part comes when you finally start working and you realize the mess you just got yourself into. You see, when you first get hired, you go through something called the 7-day free trial period, where for the first 7 days of your job, everybody loves you, they're great, they're the nicest people on planet Earth. But after those 7 days are—
No, that is a fucking lie. At least from my experience, when I was working, there was no such thing as a 7-day grace period. These people, a couple of them were nice. Other than that, but the rest of them, they were just on my ass for not instantly knowing everything about the store. Like, my bad, bro. I didn't know there was a section like this in Home Depot. I don't go to Home Depot, but I work there. and they're giving me attitude. And nobody even trained me on that, by the way. Management was just completely awful. So I didn't know where anything was at. Nobody was training me. I was supposed to, work on computer stuff. And instead, I was doing a different job for a higher pay than others. So it's like, what the hell?
They hate you, and you realize the type of store that you're in. One of the biggest ways you know you're screwed is by how your managers and bosses act. Because when it comes to retail, you either get 1 or 2 bosses. 1, super chill, super friendly, and loves their job.
Yes.
2, they hate you, and everybody around them too. I wish I could figure out the science of why retail managers always think they're better than you. Like, never in my life have I seen a more average person try to act like a celebrity of letting boss you around and talk to you however they want with no care in the world, while also not even doing half of the work I do but getting paid 3 times more. I remember working my—
And their excuse would be, oh, but I work to be in this position. I'm sorry, Sharon, but given the manager at the time several blowies after work doesn't mean you worked that hard for it. I wish I was bullshitting, but that was an actual story.
First week at Walmart and asking one of my bosses for help just for her to stick her finger in her mouth and then swipe on my phone with the same finger she had in her mouth. She literally left a stain on my screen. That's how little they care. If you're lucky, you have some very patient managers who understand what you're going through and are there to help you and are there to make you more comfortable at work. But if you aren't lucky, you have the worst. I mean the worst managers to ever step foot on this planet. Like, these people graduated school and went to college just to learn how to be an annoying person. And something you'll realize pretty quickly when you're just starting retail is the amount of unrealistic expectations that are set on you every day.
Wait, a quick touch up on bosses being annoying, power-tripping assholes, right? I have to believe it stems from high school or just school in general. They were probably the kid that gets bullied, and since now they're in a position where they could control your employment and hours and how much money you make, right? They feel the need to bust your balls and be an annoying bastard. Holy shit. Very common with theater kids, by the way.
You'll walk into work and probably have about like 5 tasks assigned to you. And throughout the day, you'll get more and more, which then makes it completely impossible to complete your whole list because you're only there for 8 hours. Not even accounting for all the customer interactions, searching for things, different side quests and stuff. There's no way for you to possibly get it done in 8 hours. And I want to say, no matter how many times they try to make it feel like it's your fault, it is not your fault, bro. As someone who's been working in retail for about 2 years now, I can confidently say there has never been a day where something that was planned before has went 100% perfectly. There's just so much going on every day at retail that's kind of hard to stay on task, especially when you have customers that clearly see you in a Walmart vest and a Walmart hat and stop you just to ask you if you work there. Like, nah, I just want to LARP as a Walmart worker for 8 hours a day. What do you think? And that's just one.
Well, to be fair, with the copious amount of prankster channels, I don't entirely blame them, but this has been going on before that was ever a concept. So yeah, who LARPs as a Walmart employee now I think about it?
One of the many phrases you'll hear from customers every single day. But the main phrase you should be getting used to hearing every single day is, do you guys have this in the back? Get used to hearing that pretty much every single day, because no matter how many times you try to explain that you don't have that item in the back, they're still going to want you to go back there and magically pull it out. And then
or they pull out their phone and say that the item is in stock.
Not finding it. Well, one Walmart employee did it for me. Why can't you? I can't magically make this item appear. And then you already know what the next line is. Can I speak to your manager? Before working retail, I didn't think people actually spammed that. I thought it was just a meme. No, I was so wrong. And unfortunate for me, I had a manager that would always side with the customer no matter what. So even if the customer asked an unrealistic thing, it would still be my fault. I think one of the best ways to describe retail work is like playing a game of Among Us for 8 hours, but you're consistently being accused of the imposter. But the imposter in this case is just a lazy worker. You literally have to backtrack everything you did and tell them every single step you took while being in the store. And on some occasions, even have to have second backing from somebody else. And it's so weird because you could be doing a task that you were asked to do, and a manager will walk right past you and see you doing the task, but then later accuse you of not doing it. But the coworker that's not actually doing anything gets off scot-free and they love him. If you're someone who's actually trying to work hard and do a good job, be prepared to be punished, because I promise you, your coworker that's not doing anything will get more praise than you'll ever get. You'll look over and you'll be busting your ass just for that guy to be on his phone not doing anything.
The sad reality is that if they like you, you could get away with a lot of shit. So, somewhat speaking from experience, they somewhat liked me. I don't know why they don't entirely hate me, but I had coworkers. What do you mean press X to doubt, Val? If your boss hates you, or if most of the people hate you, you're gonna get a lot of shit for it. Even if you do everything right, they still won't like you. Workplace politics is ridiculous.
Scrolling TikTok and showing up for a free paycheck. I wish I was joking. Another thing about retail is that it's basically a high school part 2. After working there for a while, you'll start hearing rumors about yourself that you didn't even know was true. People are so bored at that job that they'll start making rumors for no reason. I had a coworker at my last job start a rumor that all the managers were having a freak off in the manager's office.
What the fuck?
I don't even know, bro.
I choose to believe it, not because it's true, but because it's funny.